morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. We welcome you to the Let's Talk Fabulous show with Tamara. My name is Tamara Hunter, and I am your host. This is the show where we explore our fabulous lives with subject matter experts. We have a panel of them, and today we are diving deep into branding. What is it about? And how can you have a fabulous brand yourself? So, without further ado, let's talk. We have our fabulous subject matter experts here with us. And before we get going, I have my digital sidekick that's going to go deeper in exploring what it is that we're going to talk about. Here you go. Here's Renee.
Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Reich. I'm the founder of Finding Your Voice Network and the publisher of Finding Your Voice Network magazine. You are not going to want to miss today's show. Have you ever thought about getting your message, your mission, or your cause out there in a big way? Do you have a book that's in you that you are wanting to get out there into the world, but not sure exactly how to do it? Well, you're going to learn all about that in today's show because it's all about branding. You will meet some fabulous guest panelists that will discuss how to do it. So you know the drill. Get your pen and paper out there, sit back, relax, and enjoy this fabulous show. Tamara, take it away.
Thank you, Renee. So what we're going to do, we're going to also welcome our studio audience. Yes, we may be digital, but nowadays you can have a studio digital audience. We encourage you to comment. Tell us where you are. Ask questions. Let us know what you're thinking during the show. It's best to comment from Facebook and YouTube. However, you can try from anywhere. We welcome that idea. So we want to say hello to everyone. And as we are, I'm going to go around and I'm going to let our panel tell you who they are, where they are, and a sentence or two about what it is that they do. And then you're going to find out more about their brands as we explore this hour. I'm going to start to my left, and that would be Izdihar. Izdihar, why don't you tell us about yourself? And then we're going to go around to Valerie next. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Tamara, and what a pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. Izdihar Jamil. I'm a visibility expert, bestselling author, and also a TEDx curator. And I love helping leaders to share their voices without prejudice on multi-platform.
I love it. I love it. Valerie?
Hi, thank you also for having me on today. I'm Valerie David, the writer and performer of 2 award-winning solo shows, The Pink Hulk and Baggage from BaghDAD. The Pink Hulk, where I'm journaling my experience as a writer and performer of being a 3-time cancer survivor, and my Baggage from BaghDAD show about my father fleeing Iraq in 1941 from religious persecution. And with these 2 shows, my mission is to help patients and survivors and people living life on their own terms, and to give them the encouragement that there's always hope, and to find the inner superhero within, with talking about patient advocacy and bullying and discrimination and all kinds of causes where we need to see that we're all equal people in this world and we should love each other, and also know that there's always hope. And if someone has adversity in life, never, ever give up hope.
I love it. I love it. Yadira?
Hi, everyone. I am Yadira Gonzalez Muñoz. I am the founder of I Am Magazine International. I am a life coach, I'm a published author. I'm also a leader, preacher. And mostly what we do is help you find, first of all, your I am, and second, with the magazine, share the story of who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, and most important, your I am, which means where were you before where you are today. And we love people to be inspired by your story, to connect with you, and maybe you will be inspiring people to say, well, if this person was able to do it, I am going to be able to do it too. So this is all about it. I want people to share their story and to find a voice out there to help others.
Perfect. Jim?
Hi there, my name is Jim Hetherington. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I am an author, speaker, and coach. And I've been married for 41 years. I've been a coach and mentor for over 30 years. I've been an entrepreneur and business owner for 28 years. And so with those unique skill sets, I'm able to work with entrepreneurs to take their life to the next level in life and business, working in the relationships, working in business, and doing all that fun stuff.
You know, and I'm going to go back to Izdihar and have you tell us a little bit more about you, because they were able to say a little bit more. And so I think that you need to tell us just a little bit more, and then we're going to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was at a fruit section at Whole Foods getting some dates when another shopper carrying a basket, a guy comes over to me and says, "Are you a Muslim?" And I say, "Yes, I am." Then he says, "Are you going to blow yourself up?" So that was like when I first came to America, immigrating to here from Malaysia. I left my job, I left my family because my husband has his dream job. So I've got a 4-year-old son abroad, a baby girl, Yadira. And that kind of like the social adversity that I faced is kind of what triggered me to kind of be brave with my voices and keep on sharing my voices in books, on magazines, on stages, on TEDx stages, on TVs. So that's what I fight for people to be brave with the voices and sharing that consistently, because the voices are unique and should be shared without prejudice. On top of that, I've got 3 kids as well. I've got 3 young kids, and I love being here in America, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot of bravery to be wearing hijab in America.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to have some fun. So everybody get your pen out, your paper, or Tour of Love show. Wink, wink. Okay, and we want you guys to be taking notes. Anybody that's ever thought about having a business, anybody that's written a book and wants to get it out there, anybody that has thought, oh, I want to have a digital magazine, I want to be a coach, I want to be a speaker, I want to be more effective in my day job. I am a salaried employee and I can have a brand within the company. There are all sorts of different types of brands out there, and we're going to be just lightly touching many of them as we go down the path together as this panel. I'm going to start with a video that kind of kicks it off. I love this one. It's from Jim.
When it comes to building brand, I think the first thing to remember, it's not what we say about ourselves, it's what other people are saying about us. Right? We could post all kinds of nice things on social media, we could do great big commercials, we could do all kinds of wonderful things, and we could toot our own or blow our own whistle, we could do all kinds of stuff, but it's not what we say, it's what other people are saying about us. Think about all the big brands that you like, know, and trust, because that's really what you want. You want people to like you, know you, and trust you. And if you think about the big brands, it's not so much what they say in their commercials, it's not what they do in their commercials, it's what other people are saying about them. That's the brand. Anything else is just advertising. So we need to remember that it's what other people are saying. And I think the best way is to remember these 3 C's. Being consistent, having good content, and being creative. So being consistent in posting, in adding value to people is a great way to build our brand. If we're not consistent in the things we're doing, like getting on radio interviews and getting on stages and being on social media, doing all these different things, we need to be consistent on those things, because now we're getting our brand out in front of people all the time. We're consistently in front of them. And having relative content. I mean, we got to post stuff that makes us look like experts. We want to leverage that. We want to come across as authorities, and we want to listen to our avatar. We want to listen to those pain points, the struggles, the hurts, the pains that they have, so that we are putting out content that is relevant. The other thing is to be creative. Think outside the box. We need to look at our competition, look at what's happening in the marketplace and say, what can I do better? What am I so passionate about? What am I so, what is so real and true to me that I'm passionate about that I can bring to people that would serve them in a wonderful way? So remember, building a brand is not about what you're saying about yourself, it's what others are saying. And being consistent, being creative, and having relative content is one of those ways to build your brand. It'll go a long way.
Fabulous. Okay, you know what you're talking about. One of the things that when you were first brought to me, and you came on to the Valentine show that we did, and your wisdom there, and we brought you on because of being an expert when it comes to, if you will, being married as long as you have been, and being a relationship breakthrough specialist and such things. You have this wisdom there. Yet when I learned about you a little bit more and started diving deeper, I'm realizing you're excellent at branding. And also, when I heard your story about the past, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you really are good at branding, because I had no clue that you came from here to go to there, because I'm seeing this very polished coach that's doing his thing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what I'm talking about? I think wink, wink.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How far back do you want to go here, Tamara?
Well, we've only got a few seconds per each little thing, and I'm trying to bring you guys back up. I've got like a little thing going on with my cursor right now, but go ahead. Just give us a little snapshot, if you will, about the fact that, you come across so professional and really into. Yet when I asked your wife to do the little intro for you this last time, and then I found out a little bit more, and she spilled the beans a little bit. She's adorable. It's like, oh yeah, did you know? And I'm like, no, I had no clue.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you want to know the truth, just ask my wife, because she will not hold anything back. She will, she's just an open book, and she's really proud of our journey. I mean, we've had an amazing journey together. We've known each other for about 42 years. It was a very short engagement before we got married. But yeah, before I got married, yes, my life was a little bit colorful. I hung out with motorcycle gangs. I did all that wonderful stuff. Well, I shouldn't say wonderful stuff, because people will be listening thinking that's a thing to follow, but it wasn't necessarily the thing. It was just my life got derailed a little bit. And then when I got it back on track, it wasn't until I got into my 30s that I realized, hey, I need to pull this together. I'm married, I have children, and I started to really become passionate in helping other youth so that they weren't misguided, they weren't misled. And that's what got me onto this whole journey of helping people with relationships, was so that they didn't get sidetracked, they didn't get derailed. And that's just become my life mission now, is helping people go to that next level in their life, helping them to see more inside of them. And that's what's really driven me over these years.
I love it. And you're being true to your nature, because it's coming through. When I found out also that you are a pastor or a minister, you have that side to you, and it comes through in what you share, and the way you speak. You don't even have to necessarily say it, yet you're being true to your core and to your integrity. And that's one of the things we're going to really key into, is that as you're out there building a brand, you can be authentic and be yourself and take it out there and not worry that people are going to be interested, correct?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And I really believe it really comes down to knowing your core values, because if we have our core values so locked into our hearts that we know who we are, we're unshakable, we're not going to fall for everything that comes along, we know who we are. I think that's the beginning steps of really building a brand, is just knowing our identity. Because if we have a false sense of values, a false sense in that sense of our identity, it's going to be hard to win other people over. And that's what you're seeing is, in myself, for example, I'm very true to who I am at the core, and that comes across whether I'm working with entrepreneurs, whether I'm working with couples, no matter where I am on that scale, it comes true, because it just comes down to the core values being locked in.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Now, some of you may be here and thinking, okay, there's one person that's missing from the panel. Yes, at the very last minute, being true to who this person is, they were called out to do some service work. Very last minute. I mean, not even 2 hours to showtime. Called me, let me know, said, you know, I've been called to serve. That's where my heart is. You know that. And I'm like, absolutely, I do, because you're my coach. My coach from the Impactor, Todd Smith, Todd Speciale is a mega influencer. Go look up his numbers on things like Instagram and such things. But it's because of who he is that he kind of gets that. He did send me a video. I'm going to actually share two, because one is a message report, and then I'm going to go right into his message for all of you. Here we go.
The biggest thing is it's massive dishonesty these days. People say whatever they need to say to get someone to say yes. It's just the wrong way to go about things. People don't realize when you have honesty, integrity, and credibility that I can teach you any sales tactic in the world. But I hate the word tactic. I say that in the book, or the word tactic, because it just sounds like to me you're trying to maneuver rather than serve.
What's up, everyone? Todd Speciale here. Listen, as much as I would have loved to be on today, I got called to serve for being with some men in the ministry, and I am going to be there for the next couple hours. That being said, I want everyone to know that, you know, my performance and how I grow my business and my life is all through God first. I found my faith a lot clearer about a year ago, and ever since then, it has been an extraordinary journey. My branding through my faith has been pretty awesome. You know, before I would reach out to people and I would have a great conversations, I would be able to build relationships wonderfully, but now through God, through my faith, man, the life of abundance just gets better and better. And I don't mean financially. I just mean with relationships and actually serving people through God first. So I can tell you that branding yourself and being out there in the real world and showing people that your faith is strong is the best way to live. It's also the best way to grow. I am serving people now. I will serve people forever. And I promise you this. You are the people that I want to serve. So I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but God bless each and every one of you. And we will talk soon.
And I will say that Todd Speciale was my coach during the Impactor. And so there's a lot of video, there's a lot of stuff in regards to that. You see, I got to know him as a man, as a person, as a coach. And I will tell you this, the thing that he always told us as we were going through to impact the world was always, how are you impacting your life and the life of your family and the life of your community? It was always get back to the center, and then you'll be able to go out there and make an impact on the world. And in that, I was the one entitled that one, but it was our team. If anybody knows the strategy of how we did it, it was a team win, and he was our coach. So I want to say, if you guys are interested in following someone that's really doing it big, check him out, watch what he does. His branding is incredible. And, you know, yeah, those tattoos are real, and he works out and all of it. And yet he is an amazing human being. So that is what I wanted to share for like the mega influencer, being true to yourself, so much so that he's not even here with us right now. Though I know he wanted to be. He felt so bad. It's like, Tamara, of course it would be today. You know, I'm so sorry. But, you know, it really. And another man that's making a huge difference out there, Israel. Love you. Love you. Thank you for being here with us. All right. So let's keep going. I want to go on. Now, I did say that we have some content that I want some people to, that just at the very beginning of it, there might be some sensitive ears out there, or kids just tell them to la, 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 la for a second, you know, kind of thing, because we're going to be watching a video, and yet you need to see this video if you're open to it, because it really ties into branding and being true to your subject matter. Here we go.
Hi, it's Valerie. I need to find someone to have sex with. I didn't want this to be just about cancer. It's about fighting back any adversity in life. My lust for life is being fulfilled. I am ready to kick cancer's ass. I feel like this show is honest and it doesn't sugarcoat anything, but I hope it also brings a lot of humor as well. Do you think there's a difference between my two breasts? Can you feel them and check them out for me? You know, you have to be honest, and it has to be painful. And if it's not painful when you're writing it, then don't bother being a writer. I am as enraged and angry as the Marvel superhero, the Hulk. How the hell could this be happening again? I really want to sign up for the 40 miles. Do you think I should? There was someone who had MS who came up to me and she was crying and she's like, I stopped biking when I got MS and I saw your show and I want to bike again. And I pumped my legs even harder climbing up that huge hill. Go, 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 keep going. And I realized how cancer has shaped me both as a person and as a woman. I want to inspire people. We are very much stronger than we think we are. There's a superhero inside of us that we don't realize.
Okay, now the kids can come back in now. Yeah, you know, but and I've shared this clip now a few times on different shows, and I don't usually have my shows a family show. However, I am such a big believer in what Valerie is out there doing with her show, because I know this community. I have a nonprofit that serves it, and we talk real. Caroline Brown, who is the production coordinator of the show, she is the senior ambassador of our community. We know the language that sometimes, you know, and what we're doing to get out there and live. And you're being authentic in your battle and what you have battled and what you are encouraging others to do in their life. And it sometimes takes a little bit of that, get them and get that oomph together, right?
Yes.
And so much so, let me just finish here and then I want you to go into it. So much so that when you opened the show, you had just gotten another call, right? So let's go into it. All right.
Well, I want to first say, playing that clip, today, this very day, is the 5-borough bike tour that I talk about in my show. 8 years ago today, I had finished breast cancer, 8 months of breast cancer treatment. And 2 months later, I did the bike tour that is in Manhattan, where I'm beaming in from today. So seeing this clip is really my authentic self right now, that it brings back such great memories. And thank you for showing the clip, because I want people to know out there that I didn't think I was going to do that bike tour. And you see in that clip, like, do you think I should? Should I do it? And I did it, 40 miles, 2 months after I finished 8 months of treatment. So I want people to know, and I'm wearing my cape today, my pink Hulk cape, that we have a superhero inside all of us. And we could fight adversity in life through our inner strength. And we are stronger than we think we are. And when we had talked about the show, and you had brought up that I was opening the show in Portland, Oregon, and I've been doing it for a few years. And I got a call from my oncologist as I was entering the theater for a tech rehearsal that I had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And so what do? What's your choice? You do it. You move on. You keep going. You don't let it stop you. And I did the show that night, and I continued the run. And even when I had this happening, I still kept doing the show. So I want people to know to keep going and keep moving. And even with obstacles in our path, as the pink Hulk, we can smash them. And when we were talking about branding, and thank you for sharing, with all, all the coaching and everything, that I'm so proud that people don't call me Valerie anymore. They're like, hey, Pink Hulk. So I think my branding's working. I'm getting a name change, but it's really important that we see the side of ourselves that can, and it's not an easy road, and nothing is easy. And, you have this wonderful quote about how get out of your comfort zone, and change can affect change, and then we can change the world. So I was definitely out of my comfort zone, learning that I had stage 4 cancer when I was about to open the show. So
and now how are you doing?
I have no evidence of disease, and that's been since April 2019. And why I'm really so happy to share this is that I just had a PET scan last week, and again, it showed no evidence of disease. So, miracles happen, and I'm grateful to you and your support, and everyone on this panel, and my family and friends and doctors. I'm very grateful, and that's part of branding, is being grateful. I think that if you can't be grateful and brand, you have to be grateful for your life. And so this is a very significant panel today. So I thank you, especially with this, 8 years ago. And it's a reminder with the hard times we're going through. And believe me, the Hulk has her days where she's, wanting to smash a lot of things, that we know that we just have to love each other. And with Baggage from BaghDAD, my second show, and it was just interesting what the doctor was saying about, will she blow herself up? This is a story about my father fleeing religious persecution, and we're Jewish Baghdadians from Iraq. And when I did the show in Vermont, Baggage from BaghDAD, Becoming My Father's Daughter, there was a Muslim couple who came up to me and said, this is exactly what happened to us in the 2000s. We had to flee Baghdad because of persecution. And even though it didn't matter that we were different religions, and part of branding is that universal story, that it didn't matter what religion you are, what your sexuality is, your race, anything. It's a universal story. And so I felt like it was just such a mountaintop moment to have that couple. And he said, I had my 5-year-old daughter and I fled, and with what I could carry. And that's exactly what happened in 1941 to my own family. So it's so important with my 2 shows that I'm highlighting fighting adversity in life on so many levels, whether it's your own health you're fighting for. And, Tamara, I know you went through this as well, and then whether it's religious persecution or bullying or generational trauma, and these are themes of both of these shows, that I want to make a difference and help people and let them know that there is hope.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Dr. Izdihar, would you like to because I know that she kind of mentioned you, and we're going to go a little deeper into your brand and what it is that you're doing. However, I'd love to give you an opportunity to piggyback off of what was just shared right now, because I'm sure it's just like, I'd like to add something to that.
Thank you so much, Tamara. And I think, when people look at me, they have a certain preconception and preconceived notion about me. That isn't, most likely isn't necessarily true. And it was hard, because coming to a new country is a big deal. Like, I left all the things that I know back home. I used to live in England a few years ago for many years. Before coming to America, I used also to live in India. And something that I shared on my TEDx talk was that there was a knock on my door where my daughter Yadira, she was younger then. Like, we went to the door, we opened it, but there was no one there. And then when we looked down, there's this green bag. And then I crunched down, I opened the bag, and it was stinky. So someone had literally thrown a bag of dog waste right on our doorstep. And then the thing that kind of breaks me down is that when Yadira says to me, Mommy, why are they doing this? So how do you explain to a 2-year-old, 3-year-old why you are going through all this just because of what you believe in, just because of how you look, just because what faith you're on? So it's not the easiest thing, and there's many times when I would like, just gonna hide. I'm just gonna pull myself back. But I figured like the best way to do things for people to see who I really am and staying true to who I am is to put more of myself forward, like over and over and over again, and setting my own standards and setting my own rules. People are going to say things about me like I have no control over, whether it's no matter how I put my brand forward, they're always going to say things about my brand that, again, through the filter of preconceived notions. But because I'm staying true to who I am, and because I'm brave in putting myself forward, I'm scared most of the time. It's hard to put yourself forward, but courage would always be rewarded. And my biggest message and why I'm doing this is I wanted Nadra, she's 9 now. I wanted her to be brave and proud and courageous of who she is and her roots and heritage. So more importantly for me, yes, branding is key, business is important, sharing your voices, becoming a best-selling author, getting into TV, movie, TEDx stages are absolutely incredible, prestigious. But more importantly, it's for my daughter and my best friend's daughter, Medina Sama, my neighbor's daughter, Mia, Lucy, for them to just be brave for who they are. And hopefully it will impact the society, like, trickling things and planting the seeds, Tamara.
I love it. I love it. We're going to share a clip about the other show that you have right now, Valerie. And I told everybody that we're going to be going down, or I was maybe beforehand, guys, forgive me, 'cause we were all visiting beforehand too, is that each one of our panelists are experts in different lanes. And you probably already are starting to see that right now. And in Valerie's case, or Pink Holt's case, she's in New York. She has been on all the stages. She's traveled the world and done stages. She's been award winning. She's written her material, and she wrote this second play. And actually, she had just been on Service Heroes. She said, "Guess what? I've just finished one." And I'll never forget it. And then it was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to hear about it." And when she was telling about this and how it really, everything you're talking about, Dr. Izdihar, is exactly kind of like what's coming through in this video clip and what this play is all about that she wrote. And again, branding. We're branding here and being true to our authentic selves. Remember that as you're watching these things and listening to our experts. Let's watch this clip.
Surprise! I am American. My father was born in BaghDAD. He's a BaghDaddy. Someone steps into the hole. Oh my God, what the? I am gonna take risks, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. Was grounded, but little did I know the neighbors never called. We're surrounded by Jewish Baghdadians as well. Most of the females had their noses done too. And then I go to my first Broadway show for my 5th birthday to Pippin. And oh my God. We leave BaghDAD. We leave our home with only what we can carry.
Fabulous.
Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, we're going to go on and we're going to go into Dr. Izdihar's. She is a show host. She is out there. And one of the things, I didn't share this one she was talking just now. However, her show that she has during on E360 TV, it takes courage. It takes courage. And may I just say that I'm ever so proud to be sharing the same TV platform and network as Dr. Izdihar, because I will say that the reputation that she has within our community of TV hosts is exceptional. It's stellar. And when you can have that kind of reputation, again, branding, you're out there, you're being true to what it is. And she was sharing that because of that of her children, and sharing for her daughter and others, the other daughters that she was naming, that she wanted to share that it takes courage to be who we are, and we can be authentic through it. So I'm going to actually share the intro to her show, and I want you guys to look up her show on E360 TV network and go check it out. Here we go. I love it to share be courageous, to have that courage without prejudice. And that goes both ways, right? Prejudice towards you, prejudice towards others, and to be sharing that with integrity, of which, you have the utmost respect of so many, because you show up authentic, real, kind. Look at that smile. And you're out there making a difference. How many times have you been a bestseller?
17 times. So I just had my 17th book last week. And it really is. Every time I put myself forward, it'd be like, oh, should I not? Because it's a lot to put yourself forward. But then the mission is bigger, because ultimately what I want is for my children and my best friends' daughters, my neighbors' children, to live in a society that is open and accepting of each other's differences. And Nadra also is working on her second book, The Unicorn Herd Adventure. So she became a best-selling author when she was 6 years old, because she wanted to have a pony. So I'm like, fantastic! You just got to figure out how to make money. And she decided that she's gonna, write her book, because she saw me writing books and inspiring others, and also helping other people to become best-selling authors. So it's a lot, but I think most importantly, you just got to be brave in putting yourself out there. I'm always scared. I still am scared, Tamara. I just had a speaking engagement last Wednesday in front of stages, and I look at those faces. I was like, oh dear God. And I'm a TEDx speaker, and I'm a TEDx curator and an organizer, but you still gotta put yourself forward every single day, even when it's hard.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to pick someone to piggyback off of that, because we have our resident, if you will, editor, and you've created a magazine empire, if you will, digital empire that's global. You not only put one magazine out a month, you put out a couple, because you're doing different languages. And so then the different languages have different focuses, because you're focusing in on the community that you're serving with your digital platform. And and you also go out there and speak and such things like that. And sometimes when you're behind the scenes, it's a little different than when you get out there in front of the scenes. And, and so, and that's why I wanted to piggyback off of what Dr. Izdihar was just sharing with you, Yadira, because of the fact that, first of all, again, where are you in the world? Because I really want people to understand we've got a global group here that are making a difference with branding. Go ahead. In regards to how is it the differences when you're branding behind the scenes, it's not so much you, it's your brand, the magazine, as when you're out there for yourself.
It's a good question. It's a big difference because when we are branding the magazine, we're also branding the people that are featured on it. We are trying to get the people out there to share their inspirational story. So it's more about who they are, what they're doing, and I'm pushing them out there. But also with the name of the magazine, which is I Am, which is very important for me. Or I believe it's important for everyone because the word I am is very important. It is important what goes behind it, and it's going to make you become who you are actually. So it is very different when I am pushing out other people's or the magazine to when I am branding myself. Sometimes I probably do not brand myself that much, which I should do. But it is important to brand ourselves with whatever we are wanting to get out there, the voice, your message, your story. Your story is very important. Our story, each one of us have a story to tell. And sometimes you might say, oh, my story is not that important. How do you know? You're going to get out there and share your story, and you're going to inspire so many people that you might not know that they're going through the same thing that you are or went through. And that is very important, to share the story and to help others share theirs. So I believe that's one important thing.
And I'd like to ask, because something that Dr. Izdihar just shared in regards to, still getting the fear of being authentic and real.
Yes.
Do you have it? And who else, here, Jim, Yadira, I think we all get those butterflies before we go out on stage. Yes. Or, is this the audience for my message? Do I need to stay authentic to it? Do I need to switch it up a bit because I've talked to some people before I come up on stage? You start to play with those little things, right? As speakers and such. And sharing that, Dr. Izdihar, I think, I'm sure everybody was like, yeah, okay. You're not the only one. You're not right.
But I believe that we have, like you said at the beginning, we have to stay true to ourselves and just be ourselves, because we cannot be someone else just to help others or to impress others. We just have to be ourselves, and the right people will come to us. Just accept the way that we are.
And so I do want to go back to Dr. Izdihar and finish up this. And so you shared that you were out on there, and you just recently you were out there. What do you share this with also your daughter and with others and on your show that, okay, I'm being courageous and it's not always easy. However, I'm being authentic to who I am. I'm sharing that we need to have more tolerance together and such things like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I tell people all the time, oh my God, I'm so scared. And then when my coach, Ethan, was like, oh, that's great. That means you're human. I'm like, what? Even the best performers still get scared on stage. And I also think it's important for you to stick by your standards, because I was at a speaking engagement 5 minutes before the talk. The organizer was like, okay, the audience only love people who speak in Malay or Arabic. And I prepared my entire talk, 3-hour talk in English. So I was panicking. Oh my God, I can't do this. I'm going to translate everything to Malay. Malay is my native language. I'm a fluent speaker, but to translate, I'm sure Valerie knows, to translate everything from one language to the other in 5 minutes is absolutely bonkers. So 1 minute before, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick to the plan and I'm gonna let the audience deal with me. So, and when I'm on stage, again, I see those faces, I start to panic and get nervous because it's a new audience in a different country. But I stick to the plan. I let them deal with me on who I am. I spoke English, even though I'm a native speaker. It'd be weird if you're a native speaker and you speak another language. It just, it's just kind of one of those things. But then when I invited the audience to speak on the stage with me, they spoke in English. And then on the Friday, I got a call. Can you come back? We wanted to do this for the university. So it is scary. It's always going to be scary because that's what human beings do. But I do a lot of grounding before I go out there, and I just put myself forward and I set my standards and I honor that standard.
Yeah.
So if everybody's going to say it's going to be easy, no, it's not. It never is. But you get better and better and better.
Yeah. And you've been now recognized in top tier type who's who type books and such for what it is that you are out there sharing. And so I want people to understand this too, being authentic to who you are, sharing your message, getting past your own fears, you're making a difference. And in that you are being recognized and you're still experiencing those human emotions. And, so if someone else is preparing to go out there and such, it's just being part of the deal, right? And Valerie, I see your hand. I'm going to bring you in, and then I want to go to Yadira.
Yes, I want to piggyback. She's so right. Especially in another country, when I debuted the Pink Hulk in Sweden and Finland, when English is not the primary language, I was absolutely terrified. But it goes back to, it's not about me. It's about the audience. It's not, I'm doing this not for me, I'm doing it for the audience. And I think you were so on to say, be your authentic, true self and stick to the message, stick to the program. And it was very successful because I didn't let go of the mission of what I wanted to accomplish, which was to help people and inspire people. And it didn't matter where I was or what time of day or anything, just be your authentic self. And so I totally can relate. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. And yes, butterflies were flying.
Perfect. Okay, we have one more video to share, and then we're going to get into it with Yadira. But you guys need to hear this story too.
I am Yadira Gonzalez Muñoz, and since 2010, I have a new life, thanks to God. In a split of a second, my life changed catastrophically due to an impaired driver who drove me off the road. Following months in the hospital and multiple surgeries, my doctors told me I would never walk again. I did not accept that prognosis. Today, after 13 years, 19 surgeries, and constant therapy, I am walking. But most important of all is that I reencounter with my inner self. I found my I am. I decided to open my own business, and today I'm the founder and CEO of I Am Magazine International. Preacher, leader, coach, inspirational speaker, and a published author. Transforming lives is my passion. I love helping others find their purpose in life and connecting with their inner power. Helping others find their I am, their why, and the love of their lives is my mission. If you are listening to this now, I am encouraging you to find your I am. Your life will change in ways you don't even imagine. I am inviting you to listen to this show, to learn and implement it in your lives. I am looking forward to seeing you.
Fabulous. And so until we really know the story of someone's background, sometimes we just kind of assume. And that's one of the things that I wanted to also bring out in this show, because we're talking about branding and being authentic. Well, we have to share that story. And sometimes it might even get a bit old to ourselves, and yet the audience doesn't necessarily know. I know your story. You've been on Tour of Love. many of those that have watched it knows your story. But all the panelists here, they didn't know your story. They know it now. And so, you going out there and encouraging others to tell their stories through your platform, I want to say, first of all, thank you, because she did, you might have seen it there. She did invite me to be one of the cover this last October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which was such an amazing opportunity. And I want to say thank you for that. It went on and that was the one that you did. It was one issue for that 1 month, global. So it was not just two, it was one issue, global, to make a difference for those that are facing cancer. So thank you for that. I want you to have an opportunity to share, right now is your opportunity to say, why is it that a digital platform right now in a magazine, a written magazine, how can you use that to be digital with words, but also incorporate video and other things too? It's the day and age that we can do those things, right?
It is amazing, so many things that we can do now digitally. Had to make the world that it was so big, so small now for everyone that has, we can do anything with our hands, just there. So yes, thank you first of all for sharing your story, sharing each one of you, Tamara, you did a wonderful, it's not the first time that you've been in the magazine, so.
First time on the cover.
Yeah. But it is important for us to share the story, as I said before, because you're going to be inspiring people there. There's so many people that say, I cannot do this. I don't know how to get out of here. I don't know how to do it. But if we share our story, if someone is going to read your story, they're going to be inspired to probably, like I said before, connect with you and say, help me. How did you do it? Can I do the same? Or just have that faith of that energy of saying, I'm going to do it. If this person did it, I'm going to do it too. And my inspirational story, I'm a speaker, an inspirational story. Why? Because I tell my story of how it happened and how I am today. And that is inspiring and helping people say, hey, you're not alone. And I can give you a hand, help you get out there and do things that you cannot even imagine. Always with the power of will, the power of the I am. I always say, I am is powerful. The I am comes from God. It's like, when you re-encounter him the way I did, and I re-encounter my I am, I started knowing who I really was and what I wanted to do, what was my purpose out there. And sharing not only my story, but helping others share their story through our magazine or through our community, through our platform. It's something I really want for people that are out there in the need of something or that little push to say, yes, I can do it. I want to do it. So yes, that's the purpose of it,
I love it. I love it. Okay. I want to go back. I want to go full circle. Jim, in the very beginning, you said 3 C's. 3 C's. And now I want you to recap again. What are those 3 C's? And then I want everybody to write it all down and then remember listening to each one of our panelists. What was the thing that each one said that they've been true? And many of them have been sharing their core beliefs, even through their brands. Todd Special, I'm going to include him in on that. And so I'm going to give that back to you. 3 C's. Jim?
All right. Yeah, so the 3 C's. So one is the content, making it relevant content. I think it's really important that we know who our avatar is so that we can direct our message towards them. It becomes our authentic self going to our authentic avatar, but having relative content that's hitting the mark, that's speaking to their pain, that's speaking to the troubles, their struggles, the things that we help people overcome, that we work with and deal with, and being creative with it. Look at your competition. I encourage the people that I mentor all the time to look at their competition and look at what's missing, look at what they're not doing, what they're not speaking out, and look at ways that you could bring something in that's going to really just kind of zero in, just kind of narrow in on that, just kind of having that micro view, just getting in there. And the other one is being consistent. we have to continuously get up there. There's a lot of noise. We talk about the digital age, Valerie, or sorry, Yadira talked about the digital age, and it's true. I mean, it's all over the place. We could be global at any moment. Anything could go viral. And so we need to look at ways that we can stay consistent in getting our message out there, bringing out our stories, talking about who we are, and just engaging with people. But it's the consistency, I think, that's really important as well.
Perfect. Okay, we've got 30 seconds each to say goodbye, a last minute nugget. I'm going to start with you, Dr. Izdihar.
Thank you so much. Before I went up on the TEDx stage, and the host says, our next guest is Dr. Izdihar Jamil, and I love her smile the most. This is the prayer that I say before my TEDx talk. God, just let them hear my heart. Help me touch their hearts. Help me to take care of one person so I can be so grateful. So all I'm focusing on is taking care of one person at a time, whether it's digital, whether it's in person, because from that one person, it builds the connection and intimacy, and it's as if I'm taking care of everybody. So take care of one person and be grateful for it.
Perfect. Yadira?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, first of all, for being here, being present, and something important before anything else. Start finding yourself, find your I am. And the moment that you find that, everything's going to be very easy. And brand yourself. Don't forget that you are unique. And no matter how many people out there are doing the same thing that you are doing, you are unique. And you will find a unique client for you.
Perfect. Jim, I know you just said, but 30 seconds.
Yes. No, I want to encourage. I was just thinking of a baseball analogy. Sometimes we always want to get up there and hit that home run. We want to make a big impact, but sometimes it's just the day-to-day. It's just getting on base. It's just making those small plays and being consistent about that will really strike it big for us. So stay consistent with the small plays, and the day will come where you'll just knock it out of the park.
Perfect. Valerie.
Yeah. So first of all,
thank
you. Pink Hulk. I know, Pink Hulk. Thank you so much for having me on here. And all of you are so inspirational. I'm going to leave you with one line and then one saying. The last line of my show, never, ever, ever give up. And then a new saying that I think is really applicable. Angels fly because they never feel weighted down.
I love it. With that, I have chills. Next week is Mother's Day, so we are going to have a special Mother's Day show. Return next Sunday. Until then, we are out. Thank you so much. Go brand yourself today. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.